Have you ever wondered what mysteries lurk in the shadows of New Year's Eve? Tonight, we're not just ringing in a new year, but also unveiling the eerie and unexplained. Are you brave enough to discover what happens when the clock strikes midnight in a world where not all is as it seems? Subscribe and stay with us, if you dare, for a night of stories that will haunt your dreams long after the party ends. Let the adventure into the unknown begin. In the heart of a bustling city stood an old, towering hotel that had seen better days. Its once magnificent structure was now worn and weathered, with peeling paint and broken windows. The grand entrance, which had welcomed countless guests in the past, was now boarded up, a silent reminder of its forgotten glory. The most intriguing part of this hotel was the mysterious top floor, which was absent from the elevator's panel and seemed to vanish into the shadows of the building's aged facade. The air around the hotel was thick with mystery, drawing the curious and the brave to uncover its hidden secrets. The main characters in this story are Mia and Ethan, two friends with a thirst for adventure. Mia is a bold and curious young woman with a passion for exploring abandoned places. She's known for her popular YouTube channel, where she shares her urban exploration adventures with her followers. Ethan, on the other hand, is more cautious and level-headed. He's Mia's best friend and often finds himself tagging along on her adventures, despite his reservations. Ethan is the voice of reason to Mia's daring spirit. The story begins with Mia and Ethan deciding to explore the old, abandoned hotel in the city for Mia's New Year's special YouTube video. They've heard all sorts of stories about the hotel, especially about its mysterious top floor that doesn't show up on the elevator and is said to be haunted. Driven by curiosity and the lure of adventure, they plan to uncover the truth behind these tales. As they enter the hotel, they find it eerily quiet and falling apart. The grandeur of the past is still visible in the dusty chandeliers and faded wallpapers. Mia and Ethan, after a long climb up the hidden staircase, finally arrive at the mysterious top floor of the hotel. They are both amazed and a little scared to see that the floor is like a scene frozen in time, looking exactly like a grand party from the 1920s. The room is filled with what appear to be statues of people in elegant party attire, standing still as if caught in a moment of celebration. The clocks on the wall are all stopped at midnight, and everything is covered in a thin layer of dust, showing that no one has disturbed this place for a very long time. As they explore this eerie scene, they come across an old, ornate clock that stands out from the rest. It's then that they realize these statues are actually the guests who were at the hotel on a New Year's Eve many years ago, and a curse had trapped them in time at the very moment the clock struck midnight. The tension rises as Mia and Ethan understand that they need to reset this clock to break the curse, but they are also afraid because they don't know what will happen once the clock starts ticking again. The air is filled with suspense as they decide to take the risk, hoping to free the trapped souls and escape the crumbling hotel. Mia and Ethan, standing in the midst of the frozen party, faced the crucial decision to reset the old grandfather clock, hoping it would break the curse on the top floor. With a mix of fear and determination, they wind up the clock and set its hands to midnight. As soon as they do, the clock begins to chime, its sound echoing through the silent, dusty room. The atmosphere starts to change dramatically. The figures that seemed like statues begin to crumble into dust, as if their time had finally come to an end. The whole floor shakes, and the sound of crumbling walls fills their ears. Mia and Ethan realize that the hotel is collapsing, and they need to get out fast. They rush back to the hidden staircase, racing against time as the hotel falls apart around them. It's a terrifying descent, with each step bringing the possibility of the stairs giving way. But they keep going, driven by the urgent need to escape. After what seems like an eternity, they burst out of the hotel just as it collapses into a cloud of dust behind them. Breathing heavily, covered in dust, but relieved to be alive, Mia and Ethan look back at the ruins of the hotel. They can hardly believe what they've just experienced. Mia's camera, which she somehow managed to keep running the whole time, captured everything. Though they are safe now, they are deeply shaken by the night's events and decide that some mysteries are better left unsolved. This harrowing experience marks the end of their supernatural adventures as they realize the dangers of meddling with forces beyond their understanding. Our second story is a cozy cabin nestled in the middle of a snowy, secluded forest. It's winter, and the thick blanket of snow makes the cabin look like something out of a fairy tale. The cabin is far away from the nearest town, surrounded by tall, shadowy trees and the quiet stillness of nature. The only sounds are the gentle rustling of the wind through the branches and the occasional crunch of snow underfoot. The cabin itself is old but well maintained, with a rustic charm. It has a large living area with a fireplace that crackles and warms the room, creating a snug and inviting atmosphere. Large windows give a panoramic view of the snowy landscape outside, and during the day, they let in a soft, natural light. This cabin is a popular rental spot for people looking to get away from the hustle and bustle of city life, especially during the holidays. It's the perfect place for a group of friends to gather and celebrate New Year's Eve in peace and tranquility, far from the noisy celebrations in the cities. The characters in our second story are a group of friends who have come to the secluded cabin to celebrate New Year's Eve together. They are young, adventurous, and looking forward to a fun and peaceful holiday away from the city. Together, these four friends make a diverse group. Their different views on the supernatural create a dynamic interaction, especially as they find themselves in the midst of unexplained and eerie occurrences in the cabin. The story unfolds with Zoe, Lucas, Ava, and Dan arriving at the secluded cabin in the snowy woods to celebrate New Year's Eve. They are all excited for a peaceful holiday away from the city, looking forward to spending time together in the cozy cabin. As they settle in, they find an old, dusty journal hidden in a drawer. The journal is filled with strange writings and sketches. It captures their attention, especially Lucas and Ava, who are fascinated by the supernatural. They discover that the journal belonged to a previous occupant of the cabin who was deeply interested in the paranormal. Among the pages, they find detailed instructions for a ritual that supposedly allows communication with spirits. The ritual claims to bring good luck for the new year. Despite Zoe's skepticism, the group decides to perform the ritual just for fun, not really expecting anything to happen. However, as they complete the ritual, strange occurrences begin to happen in the cabin. Objects move on their own, cold drafts fill the rooms, and eerie noises echo through the walls. The group realizes that they have accidentally summoned a spirit, but this spirit is not friendly. It's angry and vengeful, and it traps them inside the cabin. The situation becomes tense as they struggle to find a way to appease the spirit and lift the curse. With Zoe's practical thinking, Lucas's knowledge of supernatural lore, and Ava and Dan's belief in the paranormal, they must work together to find a solution. The night that was supposed to be a fun celebration turns into a fight for survival as they face the consequences of invoking forces they do not understand. They hear unsettling noises, see ghostly shadows, and feel an ominous presence surrounding them. The cabin, once a cozy retreat, now feels like a trap with an angry spirit. The most intense moment happens when the spirit reveals itself in a more frightening form. The friends are huddled together, scared and unsure of what to do next, as the angry spirit makes its presence overwhelmingly known. It's clear that the spirit wants something from them, but they don't understand what it is. In a desperate attempt to calm the situation, Zoe tries to reason with the spirit, speaking out loud into the eerie silence of the cabin. Lucas, recalling a specific detail from the journal, suggests they perform a cleansing ritual to appease the spirit and end the haunting. As they begin the cleansing ritual, not knowing if it will work, the spirit's presence grows stronger, the cabin shakes, and the temperature drops, making their breath visible in the air. It's a race against time as they try to complete the ritual, hoping to save themselves and restore peace to the cabin. The group's desperate attempt to perform the cleansing ritual finally starts to show results. As they complete the ritual, following the instructions from the old journal, the cabin begins to settle. The unnerving noises and cold drafts that filled the cabin start to fade away, and the oppressive feeling of being watched slowly dissipates. The spirit finally appears to be appeased. It stops its haunting and the strange occurrences in the cabin cease. The friends feel a sense of relief wash over them as they realize that they have successfully calmed the spirit and lifted the curse. Our final story is an old and grand theater in the heart of a bustling city. This theater, known for its splendid architecture and rich history, is a beloved landmark. Its walls are adorned with intricate designs, and the large stage has been home to countless memorable performances over the years. On New Year's Eve, this majestic theater is preparing for a grand celebration. The entire building is beautifully decorated, with shimmering lights and festive decorations creating a lively and inviting atmosphere. In this story, set in the Grand Theater on New Year's Eve, we meet two main characters, Sarah, and the story begins on New Year's Eve at the Grand Theater, where Sarah and Michael decide to explore the less-known parts of the building. As they wander through the backstage area, they come across a collection of old props and costumes from various plays performed over the years. Each item seems to have its own story. They find a mysterious and ornate prop that captures their attention. When Sarah inadvertently activates the prop, they unknowingly release the trapped spirits of actors who met tragic fates in the theater. As the New Year's Eve celebration continues in the main hall, unaware of the unfolding drama, Sarah and Michael must confront the consequences of their discovery. They understand what they have unleashed and how to resolve the situation. Their journey through this supernatural ordeal tests their bravery and their bond as they seek to restore peace to the theater before the stroke of midnight on this eventful New Year's Eve. The situation with the released spirits in the theater reaches its most intense and frightening point. After discovering and inadvertently activating the cursed prop, Sarah and Michael start to notice unusual and unexplainable events happening around them. The peak of the tension happens when the spirits of the past actors become more visible and active. Sarah and Michael find themselves facing these ghostly figures, who are replaying parts of their old performances, trapped in a loop of their final tragic moments. Sarah, with her love for the theater and its history, realizes that these spirits are not just haunting the place, but are seeking closure for their unfulfilled dreams and untimely demise. She comes up with a plan to help these spirits find peace. Despite her fear, she decides to perform a piece from one of the forgotten plays, hoping to connect with the spirits and provide them the closure they need. Sarah takes the stage, performing under the watchful eyes of the spectral audience, while Michael supports her from the wings. Her performance is filled with emotion and respect for the past actors, reaching out to them across the boundaries of time. The tension is palpable as they wait to see if her heartfelt tribute will appease the spirits and bring peace back to the theater. The spirits, drawn to Sarah's performance, seem to find a connection with her portrayal of the play. It's as if her understanding and empathy allow them to relive their final moments on stage in a more peaceful way. Slowly, one by one, the spirits start to fade away, their apparitions becoming less and less visible, as if they are finally finding the peace that eluded them for so long. As Sarah finishes her performance, the theater is filled with a profound silence, a respectful homage to the actors who once graced its stage. With the conclusion of the performance, the theater returns to normal, just in time for the New Year's countdown. The partygoers in the main hall are oblivious to the supernatural drama that unfolded backstage. As the new year dawns, remember, the scariest tales are born at midnight. If you crave more shivers down your spine, hit subscribe. Join our chilling journey into the unknown. Happy New Year, and stay haunted.